Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making oxtail. Now there are probably about 5 million videos on how to make oxtail, but there's only one video by Sandy. Okay, so I've already washed my oxtail and I'm going to show you how to trim the fat off. So normally you would wash your oxtail and people will start to season their oxtail with all the fat around it. No, we don't want that. Take extra 5 to 10 minutes and just cut the fat off. Trust me, you're going to thank me later. You ever go to buy oxtail and you open your plate or whatever and then you see those big white fat just sitting? We don't want that, okay? So all I'm doing right now is, see, look how pretty that is. Taking a second and just cutting. And when you go to the meat market, the butcher is not gonna sit there and clean it up for you. So yes, and like, look at that. You don't want to be eating all of that. No, it's gross. Also for washing, I like to wash my oxtail with vinegar and I just let it soak for a little bit. For whatever reason, I don't like to use lime when washing my oxtail. I think the vinegar cuts into it more. And you want to be careful because you don't want to cut off any of that meat because as we all know, oxtail is already a little on the bony side. Okay, look at that. No. All right, so I'm going to just speed through this really quickly. Okay, and now all of our oxtail is nicely trimmed. Look at all that extra fat. Like, ugh, we don't want to be eating that. We don't want to be cooking that. And then also doing this step will eliminate all that oil that when you're cooking the oxtail. I want my gravy. I don't want oil. There's a difference. All right. So now, set that aside. Now, when seasoning the oxtail, you're gonna do your seasoning your oxtail in 2 parts, okay? First, I'm gonna go in with my dry ingredients. I never like to just pour over the oxtail. I like to combine it all in a bowl first. So I'm gonna go in with adobo. And now I don't measure anything. I have some cayenne pepper, paprika. My house is so quiet right now. I don't know where my kids are. Garlic powder, and you could go heavy with the garlic. Get that meat tenderizer in there. And lots of onion powder. My husband don't like onion, so I cook with a lot of the onion powder. And let's go back and put some adobo in there. All right. Black pepper, because in which Jamaican household you're going to be cooking anything without black pepper. Right in there. And literally, I put this dish on everything, okay? My grandmother would probably not approve, but I like it. It's flavorful, so I'm going to put a dash in there. I also like cooking with this sazon thing. It's a nice flavor as well. So we're gonna put one of that in there. And we're gonna grab ourselves a little spoon. And then you're gonna combine it. So this is why I like to combine my seasoning in a mixing bowl before putting it on my meat, because then I feel like all the seasoning is just now combined. Everything is uniform together. So, okay, so let's go ahead and put the seasoning on, and you will not use all of this seasoning, okay? Remember, I said seasoning your oxtail is 2 parts, okay? So once we have that, we're gonna go over and we're gonna put some of our onions, peppers, and then get all of that in there. I'm also using regular garlic as well, instead of the garlic powder, so fresh garlic. Yeah. Put some of that in that. And then I'm also gonna go in with minced garlic. Can you tell? I love garlic. Okay. Now you're gonna also wanna go in with your browning. Cannot make oxtail without your browning. Now people might say, okay, I could brown it in the pot first. No, there's no frying our oxtail, okay? That's why it's gonna be tough and barky. If you're Jamaican, you get it. If not, ask one of your Jamaican friends. Let's get messy. No, I don't like to use gloves when I'm cooking. I wanna get all up in there. And you're gonna just get all up in there like that. You wanna make sure everything is nice and covered. Like rub that in there, okay? Remember Medea and Tyler Perry? Let's see, why did I get married? Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And she was like, rip it. You want to rub it. Like you want to get all up in it. Don't be scared. Yes, your hand's going to get dirty. You could wash it. That's why we have soap and water. All right. So now I would go and I would let this sit for a day, sometimes 2 days. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to be cooking it right away. Nice and combined. I wish you could like smell this goodness right here. Everything is nice and combined. All right. Wash your hands. Okay, so now we're gonna get our pot. And I'm gonna just light our stove. Put that on. No oil. You need absolutely no oil. Oxtail is actually very oily. So once you're cooking it, even though we took off all the excess fat, it is still a very fatty meat. So you are gonna get oil once it's cooking, okay? So you don't need to add any oil. Put that up. And while the pot warms up, grab your glass and you have a drink. A little dance break. All right, so now that our pot is nice and hot, we're gonna go ahead and you're gonna just pour that in, just like so. Now that the meat is in, we're gonna just go get ourselves a little bit of water in the same bowl. Kind of wanna rinse it out, get all that seasoning. You're gonna put that in there, just a little bit of water. Grab yourself a spoon. Now, oxtail takes a long time to cook, right? We all know this. Just come a little closer. The goal is to have just a little water in it. You do not want to cover the entire pot of oxtail. Just a little cover, just a little bit of water, and that we're going to use this water now to kind of brown it. Okay, so you don't need oil. Cover that up. Go about your business for a few, let that sit for a good 30 minutes without stirring it. Just leave it alone. Every 15 minutes you can check on it, and then after 30 minutes come back and I'll show you the next step. Now we clean. Okay guys, well it's been about 45 minutes, so let's go ahead and check on our oxtail. Now, okay, perfect, this is good. So now remember earlier when I tell you that oxtail is basically gets seasoned in 2 steps. Now I'm gonna just go on in and add the rest of my seasoning that we had mixed up. Some fresh thyme. You want to add some more of the pepper. So all of those, the original seasoning that we had, garlic and all that, we're just gonna go ahead and add some more. And then you cannot make oxtail without your baked bean, your butter bean. Butter bean. So I'm gonna just shake that up, give it a little shake. And yes, I had to switch my apron because my daughter basically wanted hers. And that pink one that I was wearing, not tie or anything, that was hers. She wanted it back, so I had to take that off and switch. You're gonna just pour it in with the liquid. See, there's always a little bit in the bottom of that. So you wanna just go ahead, grab a little spoon, and we wanna get that out. I also like to get some water within the can and pour that in. I'm also gonna go in with a little ketchup, and we're gonna pour that in. One final ingredient that I like to use when I am making my oxtail is either I add a little bit of barbecue sauce or I'll add some brown sugar. Right now I do not have any brown sugar, so I am gonna go ahead and add just literally a little bit. I feel like that's what gives it that like nice and sweet. You don't want to add too much because you're not making barbecue oxtail. I find that using the brown sugar and you are using a little bit of the barbecue sauce will give the same outcome. And now what we're doing is making sure our sauce is going to be nice and seasoned. If you take a closer look in, you'll also notice that we have, let's go ahead and pour that in here. Now this is where you want to go in, and if you have any oil, you would kind of go and skim it off. Because I did that step where I cut off that excess fat, there is no oil. Because I didn't brown it with oil, there is no oil. So all this is just needs to get cooked down, simmer down, and that's gonna make that delicious oxtail sauce that we all love. Okay, so now we let this cook down for another 20 minutes, and then that's it. All right. Okay guys, so it's been about 20 minutes, and this is what we want to see. All right. Oh my God, look at this. And like I said, I didn't have to skim it for oil or anything like that because I took the time to cut off all the excess fat off of it. Now let's see. What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? Look at that. All right. I want my oxtail to fall off the bone, but and I should be using a knife and fork to be classy, right? But please, get all that sauce. Now, babe, I know you're so mad right now because I know you wanted to be the one to taste this, but just makes you want to dance.